Hi everyone, my name is Paige Kreitz. I'm an ICU nurse and wanted to make a second video. Finally had some time. A friend of mine mentioned that there was a whole lot of background noise in the first video that I made, so I went and got a microphone, and I think this is going to work better. You might be able to actually hear me speak. So just wanted to give a follow-up video to the first one I made. Things are kind of settling down into a groove. I worked today and yesterday, and I usually work about 3 days a week. I lose track of what days I work. And I normally work 12-hour shifts, and on the days that I do work, I leave early in the morning. Sometimes I try to go for a walk before work. But at the end of my shift, I'm usually just very tired and I don't get anything done. So I come home and, try to spend some time with the kids. But I go to bed pretty early. And, when I work 3 days in a row, then that's like almost half a week where I get nothing done at home. Meanwhile, there's humans that live in my house and dirty things up and aren't always the best at cleaning up. So on my days off, I'm doing housework and shopping and things like that. But all of that is besides the point here. I just wanted to give an update about work. And I was noticing that a couple of weeks ago, morale was a little bit on the low side at work because it just seems like sometimes, we do what we can for our patients, and they end up dying anyway sometimes. And that's frustrating because working in the ICU and really working in the hospital as a nurse, and I don't want to discount other jobs that have to be done in the hospital. Everyone is important. We're all a team. Because I work in the ICU, I'm pretty much speaking from the perspective of an ICU nurse and working in an ICU and what it's like in there. So I don't mean to make it seem like no other job is important or even as important. We're all important. Everyone's job is important in a hospital. It seems like we try our best and we work hard. I'm not meaning to say that every patient in the hospital is or in the ICU is deathly ill. We do have very sick patients. But there are factors that go into taking care of a COVID patient who is really sick in the hospital that we don't really have with other we just have not had before. Specifically, the fact that family is not allowed to be in the hospital with the patient, and that's really hard for the family, and it's hard for the patient. And honestly, sometimes it's hard for the nurse too, because sometimes, like today, there's family members who I was told were calling a lot yesterday, and we're getting frustrated with the nurse. And because families they don't feel like they can control anything. They're kind of helpless. They're at home. They're not even allowed in the building. And their family members are very sick. Some of them are deathly sick, and family feels helpless. They can't even see what's going on with their family member, and so they try to exert some power and some control over anything. And unfortunately, the ICU nurse is the one who gets that. And many of us we're used to talking with family members who are frustrated, but sometimes it's a lot of phone calls, and sometimes it's hard to just kind of bite your tongue and not treat someone with the disrespect that we get sometimes for a situation that's out of our hands. So I know I myself don't like it when I'm taking care of a patient and someone seems very unappreciative of what I do or belittling of what I do. And it's extremely difficult not to respond in a way that would bring. It's just difficult to respond respectfully and maintain professionalism. You know, we do stay professional, but sometimes it's tough. And sometimes after a phone call, we vent to the nurses around us. We just have to. You know, you have to have an outlet. And so that happens a lot in the ICU. And then we have other family members who are just so appreciative, and they're so sweet. You know, they just they appreciate every morsel of information that we can give them about their loved one. You know, they apologize about interrupting or bugging us, and you know, when they have that attitude, we tell them, you know, you're not bugging us, you're not interrupting, or you know, it's fine. We want you to know what's going on with your family member. The attitude from us is a bit different, and I guess it's just human nature. You know, you respond more positively to someone who speaks respectfully to you. So the morale was kind of low because people, they sometimes die, and we put a lot of work into helping patients recover. And when we do that, we're working very hard and doing all we can, and they die anyway. It frustrates us. It makes us mad. Makes us mad at the virus. And we can say that, like, COVID sucks. You know, you hear that all the time. You hear that all the time at the unit. But today was a pretty good day. I took up the first 5 hours for another nurse who couldn't be there for the first part of her shift, and you know, we help each other like that. It was a good day, and I really enjoy my coworkers. I've worked in a lot of hospitals, both in Texas and here in Colombia, and I've been working in ICU for 25 years, and part of that time in Texas was working with an agency. I was an agency nurse in addition to a full-time nurse position. So when I wasn't working in my home-based hospital, I was traveling to different hospitals, like in Houston within the Herman system. There's something like 9 or 10, there may be more by now, but 9 or 10 hospitals. And so as an agency nurse working for Herman hospital system, I would work at different hospitals, all of those hospitals. And really, this hospital I'm at now is one of the best hospitals I've ever been in, because it just has a very small town feel. This is a small town. People who are from Columbia, Missouri may not agree with me that it's a small town. I guess it's all kind of relative. You know, for me, coming from Houston, Texas, a city of 3.1 million people, to a town like Columbia, which has about 100,000, to me that's a small town. But to people here, it's like a metroplex, and it's kind of cute. I remember one time when I had first moved here, you know, in Houston we have Bush Intercontinental Airport and Houston Hobby Airport, and they're both large airports, multiple terminals, just very large airports. Nothing like DFW, but you know, we moved here, and I was gonna fly out of Columbia somewhere, and so I went to the airport here in Columbia, and it was so cute, you know, because it had one terminal, and it had an old crusty security guard who, you know, waved a wand to check for anything metal on you. Just tiny, just so tiny. So I took pictures, and I sent the pictures back to my friends in Houston, saying, "Look at this sweet little airport. It's just so cute, so cute." If you can call an airport cute. But Yeah, small town. All right, I guess someone's at the door. We'll finish up later.